Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you in the middle of your fabulous conversations. This is really one of my favorite events of the year because we get a chance to applaud our students for their commitments to learning and applaud our faculty for the fabulous work they do and applaud our donors who can get the joy of experiencing your conversations with one another and know how valuable their underwriting of this enterprise is. And so I just love watching you talk to each other. I'm awestruck, although I'm not all that surprised, to watch you together and to see how Stetson pulls at the hearts of our donors and our faculty and our students. That's really what we're about here, not just the pulling at your heartstrings, but also bringing you together in an environment that feels like home and enables you to share that very special joy that comes from new discoveries and new learning and helping one another to do both. So today we're celebrating a decade of bringing you together to meet one another and luxuriate in your common bond. And we know that the scholarships that you've been offered change your lives. And the donors that perhaps you're only meeting for the first time are here because they know that they can have a profound effect on you and on the communities you will move into as you work to not just make a living, but make a life and lift up our society. So when I look around the room, I see stories of triumph, of hard work, of accomplishment, and of opportunity. And I'm really proud to see the collaboration between our donors and their students and our donors and the faculty whose work they underwrite. So thank you for everything that you have done for Stetson and for everything you've done for the individuals who receive your support. I really can think of no better act of kindness and philanthropy than changing the future. So we also know that your commitment, I'm speaking to our donors, your commitment here really does speak to Stetson values and how important it is for you to help our students grow intellectually and as people, to help them travel overseas, and to help them respond to the ills of society and make this a better place. So thank you to everyone and for all you do for one another and for Stetson every day. So let me introduce to you now Dr. Lua Hancock, who I saw, there she is. And in about a week, Lua will be vice provost. She's gotten a promotion, and she will not only be responsible for all of the academic success and student success here, but as well for all of the student affairs work at our university. And we're very, very proud of her. She gets this opportunity on the departure of our Vice President, Chris Candace Fisher, who's leaving to go up to Boston to get his family back in one city. But it is really a pleasure for our provost and for me to have the opportunity to promote Lua into a job she is ready for, and we know she'll do a great work at. So, Dr. Hancock.
But thank you for having me. I think this is my third time I've been involved with this event, and similar to what Dr. Libby shared, it is one of my absolute favorite events of the year because I have the pleasure of working with a lot of these students on a very regular basis, and it's so wonderful to get the opportunity face-to-face to thank many of you who make that a possibility at all. I couldn't imagine Stetson without them, and so we're just so grateful today. Also, we have a lot of people with us from the deans, the president's cabinet, faculty, and a lot of our benefactors. So mix and mingle and get to know each other, because really a lot of the heart of Stetson is right here in this room. You'll see some people videotaping and taking pictures today for our Flickr feed. And if you'd rather not be involved in that, if you have some secret life that you're trying to hold down, you can just grab them and say, hey, this is not public. So feel free to do that. But for the rest of you, be representing Stetson. You never know. You know, I just want to put that out there. Florida is a place to get away in many ways for some people. And as usual on our campus, exciting stuff. There's a farmer's market going on outside, so hopefully we'll end in time that you can go hit that up if you want to. So today I'm going to introduce a few people to come up and chat with you. We'll have some lunch and table conversation. We have a really, really nice treat in that today we'll have the Stetson Concert Choir led by Tim Peter. Will be here to sing for you. I love being on a campus with very talented music students. On Friday, someone who has tried to remain anonymous purchased a serenade for me from some of the music students, which wasn't embarrassing at all, but it was really, really awesome. And it's all over the internet and viral as well, so just feel free to Google me and you'll see me red, embarrassed. It was fabulous. So I'd like to introduce you to Jeff Ulmer, who's our Vice President for Development and Alumni Engagement, who will welcome us and lead you, the student will lead you in an invocation, and then we'll have lunch. Jeff?
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Ulmer. I'm Vice President for Development here. I really don't have anything to say other than to introduce somebody who's very special. But I do want to say something to the students here to really, take the time to get to know the benefactors in this room. If there's anything you can take away from this, is that the importance of giving back or giving forward in your life. It'll be so much richer. I heard something this morning, and I'll get off because Wendy's probably wondering, what's he doing? There was a guy who invented dynamite who opened the paper one day and saw his obituary. Actually, his brother had passed away. It wasn't him. But in the obituary, it said that this guy, this killer of people, is finally dead. He invented dynamite, and it had something to do with making gunpowder much more effective. When he read that, it really bothered him, and he decided to change his life and to start devoting his life to giving back. And you've probably heard of Mr. Nobel. He eventually got the Nobel Prize. But the meaning of that, the meaning behind, when you really think about what it is that you can do to change the world, which is what so many of you all have done here for Stetson, if you just carve out a little bit of your life to give back to your community, your churches, your synagogues, your schools, life can be so much richer. And so anyway, now I'm going to get off my box here about the, by the way, I do want to say that we have a campaign kickoff coming up. We're going to be on a $150 million campaign to do just this, to find more resources for scholarships for students. And our official kickoff will be, the official announcement will be on October 16th this fall. So please mark your calendars. We'd love to have you all there. So now I have the distinct honor to introduce Bianca Benetto, a junior majoring in religious studies and majoring in music. And she'll do the invocation.
Hello. Kind of short. Can you guys see me? All right. I'm going to be leading the invocation, so please prepare yourself for prayer in the manner that you are accustomed to. God, thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity to gather in your presence today. As we come together to appreciate our benefactors and celebrate education, please help us as students to listen and learn from the wisdom of the people who aid us in achieving our hopes and dreams. Thank you also for this chance for our benefactors to see that their generous donations are creating future leaders at Stetson University. They have changed our lives, and thanks to you, we have the chance to show them that. Please bless this lunch and our time together. Amen.
Happy
We have a few speakers who we've asked to join us today to share their words of appreciation. Our first one is a senior. Yeah, it's like 90 days or something, not to stress you. A senior political science history major who's originally from Tennessee, Patrick Cohn, and then you'll hear from one of our benefactors, Steve Alexander from Table 2. He's right there. Class of 1985, and he's also a member of our Board of Trustees. So Patrick, will you please join us?
Wow. I don't know about you guys, but I had two thoughts. First thought was, snap, choir just went up. I have no chance. That's a tough act to follow. But then the second thought was, well, at least everybody's awake now, so I have a better chance, right? So thank you so much, Dr. Lua. And actually, I'd love for you guys to join me in thanking her, because even before she's gotten to this position, I know for me personally, among many students, she's helped so many students succeed here. It's because of her and others like her. So please give her a round of applause. So probably don't know a lot about me, so I'll quickly give you a quick idea of what I've done. I've had the opportunity to play football here, political science majors. I've also had the blessed opportunity for 3 years to be a resident assistant, and I'll tell you what, that has been awesome. I've also had the opportunity to serve as a president of a student organization, which I'll get to later. But really what I'd like to do is do three things for you guys today. I'd like to tell you, one, why I bleed green; two, formally thank all the benefactors for what they've done here; and then three, leaving us here with a challenge of what we can do leaving. So to begin, bleeding green. You know, Stetson's really transformed my life in so many ways, and the first one is purely professors. Like, people don't understand just how important professors are until you're in the classroom, because I know when I was in high school I didn't realize that professors were profound or whatnot. But the thing is, since I've come here to Stetson, it's radically changed my life, because Stetson provides not only hands-on experience, but professors that really, really care. Just to name drop a couple: Dr. Bailey, Dr. Husky of political science, Dr. Kurlander of history. I mean, there's so many, and I'm so sad if anybody's here and I didn't mention their name, because every professor that I've had, and this is not even, this is definitely an understatement, every professor I've had has not only molded me, but pushed me forward. And in some cases, I've even had the opportunity to have a personal relationship with, and that means so much. The second thing that's really made me bleed green is been able to have that culture of Stetson. And a lot of people, you know, they come to Stetson, they look at the pictures online, like, man, that looks good. It looks like it's by the beach. You know, maybe they like the color green, I don't know. But, which is a good attribute too. But the thing is you get here and you're kind of like nervous. I remember when I was a freshman, I was kind of juggling around the academic sides, the social side, and then obviously the academic. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But really what drew me into becoming a Hatter was the fact that this culture here is so unbelievably welcoming. And beyond that, there's this small saying that we say sometimes, but it's dare to be significant. And I kind of made an understatement of that, because the fact of the matter is it's not even close to what you think. It's pushed in everything. And so like this culture, the students, in sports, my professors, I've felt like not only can I be significant, but others that are behind me I can push to be significant. And then the last avenue that's really made me bleed green is the student organization that I've got to help lead, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And it's amazing that you come to college and you think you're going to be taught so many things, but you never imagine that professors or other leaders teach you so well that you get to become a leader. And so my freshman year, I had the opportunity with several other students to create a student organization called Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And it's so amazing because everything about Stetson kind of bleeds through. So what Stetson does in welcoming people, we have the opportunity to do too. So even though, yes, it's titled Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and you know, you would think, oh, you have to be an athlete or Christian to come, we've had people from everywhere. We've had professors come. We've had people from housing department come. We've even had people that you would think would be, you know, so scared of coming to something that's a Christian organization. So many people have come from even like the music school or the business school, and I've had friends that are homosexual that have come. It doesn't even matter, but something that has bled through Stetson bleeds through even to an organization that I've got to help lead for 3 years. Just gotta love it. Now, why am I here? It's because of you guys. More specifically, obviously, Dr. Rinker, but in high school, my father passed away when I was a junior. And in that moment, I mean, among the many things that happens to you in that moment, one of the things that initially crippled me was the fear of finances, thinking, how am I gonna get to these next steps in life? Obviously, I miss my dad very much, but as it got to my senior year, I was like, man, if I don't get a scholarship, it isn't going to look too good, because my mom is a teacher, high school teacher. Not to put any of them down, but obviously financially it doesn't go too far when you have 5 kids. And I already had 2 older brothers in college and 2 in private school as well myself. So if you look at the situation, you're like, this isn't going to work out. But Stetson did what I thought no other school could do. I was just praying. I was like, somebody's got to give me enough money to allow me to come. And I mean, it was overwhelming, and Dr. Rinker has been a huge part of that. And what I love also about Dr. Rinker, outside of just being able to financially bless me, is that the last 2 years I've come here, and every time, within the first 5 minutes we were back there, we're talking, he's like, oh, I'd love to help you in this way. So yeah, he gets my email, and he's like, I'll lead you, and I'm just like, man, that's amazing. And one other person I like to point out is Mr. Alexander over here. My senior year, like, they don't tell you that there's a lot of costs outside of just tuition and whatnot, but there is. So there's this small piece of technology called the laptop that you kind of need to get homework done. And I was like, I can't pay for a laptop. I can't pay for anything right now. And Mr. Alexander, whose son attended the school I went to, he's like, I'd like to bestow upon you a gift. So we went laptop shopping. You don't get that very often, so thank you so much. The last thing I want to do for us is kind of challenge those that are like myself, that are the students in here right now. Because it's awesome, so awesome to be here and have this lunch. But if we walk away from here and just think, oh, it's a cool opportunity to meet people that maybe I can network with, or it's just a cool opportunity to see who's been before me that's bestowing upon me this honor of attending Stetson, then I think we've missed the point. Because what they're doing here is beyond just that. There is one aspect of being a leader that I've learned here at Stetson that I think makes everything else kind of fall into it, and that's servant leadership. And servant leadership, basically, at its core, is that word serve. And so how do you serve? You put yourself in a way below somebody and raise them up. And in this situation, what's a better example than people that you don't even know? I mean, we may hear their names, you go to their buildings, I'm like, Rinker Auditorium, that's kind of cool, that's my benefactor. But that's just a great example of somebody that says, listen, I may never get to know you, but I'm going to serve you to raise you up as a leader. And so the question is, what are we doing now as a response? This is the question that's been coming to me more and more as I'm a senior, because what am I going to do out of here? If it's not servant leadership, then what is it about? And so I challenge you all, including myself, me above all else because I'm learning this, that if we're leaving here with just, oh, this was a good lunch, we've missed the point. So I challenge you, think about that question. Who is it that I can serve now? Who is I can serve in the future? And maybe sometimes it's good to reflect, okay, how have I served, so we can encourage ourselves to move forward. Thank you so much for the opportunity, benefactors, to bestow upon me this honor to attend Stetson University. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Come on, people. My presentation will be totally different than everybody else's because I'm excited to be here, as well as my wife. As you get to know us, the Stephen Lee, we do everything together. And what this gentleman just said today, it's hard to top everything you said. And we know this gentleman from the time from high school, playing football. And we were so excited to think about him to come to Stetson. That is just very emotional to see him today. But we're here today to talk to you about taking the advantage of everything that's great about Stetson. I'm a 1985 graduate in finance. Anybody from Gordis Hall? A few Gordis Halls, exactly. A resident advisor at Gordis Hall. I was actually on security. In those days, students were the security officers. I had a uniform. I had a flashlight that was about that big. And I used it a few times to take care of a few events, and that has served me well. It's about leadership. And when you come about to Stetson, I hope that all of you in this audience who are students take advantage of every potential opportunity here on campus. We talked a little bit about professors and classes, which is all very important. Take that very seriously. But as you're going through your 4 years here, join a club, take a leadership role, start a new organization and take a leadership role. But take advantage of all those opportunities that this organization provides to you. This coming week, along with my fellow trustees, we'll be sitting around rooms and studying a lot of paperwork, a lot of books, a lot of information. But I can't tell you that this day right now is the most important day. And I would like to have all the students please stand up as we applaud you. Thank you so much. You are the future leaders of Stetson. And as many of you will go through graduation in the next couple years, and that's another one of our favorite events is to go through graduation with you, you'll have many of opportunities. You'll have lots of experiences. Some will be good, some will be bad. Many of those experiences you'll think about Stetson and the things that you've learned. Those experiences will grow with you. But my wish for you is that I hope that one day all of you are standing right here, because we will need you to help us keep this university moving forward over the next couple hundred years. And the ability to stand here and help us, a fellow Stetson student to get through college is an unbelievable feeling. To see all of you come here as a freshman, go through the 4 years and then graduate and then move on to your careers in life. And to be a small part of that is just an amazing accomplishment for us. So my wife and I just want to thank everybody for your participation. We want to wish you the best through your years at Stetson. Take advantage of everything you can here, because once it's over, I'm sorry to say, it's over. Right? And then you come to a chicken lunch and you make speeches. But it's a great opportunity. We love Stetson, and I hope you will love Stetson as well too.
I just wanted to say that, you know, when all the students stood up, when I was in college, that was me. Everyone comes to college from somewhere different with families that can afford to pay everything and families that can afford to pay nothing. And I was from the family that could afford to pay nothing. And if it weren't for the scholarships that I received, just like you in this room, I guess I wouldn't be standing next to this awesome guy right now, because, you know, our paths are, you know, kind of set out for us. But so I know how that feels to look back and say, wow, what a great opportunity, and the people that helped me get there. And then all of you students standing here looking at each other as you leave Stetson over the next few years, and then think about giving back to Stetson. This is your support system. These are the people that you want to stay in touch with. I know for Steve, now the people that I've met, the friends that he has reconnected with, the trustees that have become friends, and that support system that we have built from people at Stetson, because they're amazing people. They're amazing people. And this is a dear young man to us right here, and we would go laptop shopping with you anytime. And we are, I know it's a shout out, but we love you, and we're so proud of you, and all of you in this room. We just happen to know Patrick personally and his family, and are just so proud of you. So thank you.
So I think it is very telling that we celebrate this event on Valentine's Day weekend. I must say that when my children were little, they called it Valenheart's Day. So I always think of this as a day of great heart and a day of great meaning. So I think it's really very symbolic that this is the day, the weekend at least, I'll stretch it by a day, that we celebrate this event. You know, there are a lot of people that are part of this community that work really hard all the time to try to figure out what it takes to send these incredible young people out into the world to be the leaders of change, of positive change in our world. Because at Stetson, we look out into that world and we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied with what this world is like and where this world is going. And so we do dare to be significant in that world. We do dare to educate students in such a way that they can go out and be the positive lights in changing that world. So we work really hard, all of us as a community, to try to figure out what it takes. And so we have fancy statistical models, and we have all sorts of financial models. I have to mention the financial piece because I really do appreciate the financial place, but really, we have all of these complex things. We study all sorts of disciplines, and I mean, you know, all the education that we bring to leading this community. I'm a psychologist, and of course, psychology has everything to do with it. But we work hard to figure it out. But you know, the bottom line is the answer is actually much simpler than that. And it is the core beauty that is Stetson. It is what everyone is talking about in this room today. And that truly is the reason that Stetson is an incredible place. And that is what you're doing is, yes, you are helping to finance the future of our world. But you're doing something much more important than that. What you're doing is you are looking each other in the eye and you're saying, I truly do believe that you have what it takes to help us make this world a better place. You're looking each other in the eye and saying, I believe in you. I believe in the power and the potential that you have. And as I look around the world, that is really, unfortunately, less common now than I think it's ever been. Few of us take the time to stop and look each other in the eye and say, I see it in you. I notice you. I see you as an individual person that can truly make a difference. So the power that we bring forward into this world, yes, it has to do with the generosity of sharing resources to help this happen, yes. But much more important than that is a deep connection with other people to say, I believe in you and I know that you can do this and move out into the world. We had a wonderful visitor on campus this week, Phil Gardner, who is the guru nationally of understanding college student development in terms of postgraduate employment. And he's been doing this for about 40 years. He's at Michigan State University, and he is very, very well known in the field. And he's been drawn to Stetson. So I met him a couple of years ago, and he is taken by what's happening here. So he spent the day with us, part of Thursday and into Friday. And he did a session with all of the faculty at noon, and he's got all the statistics. He's done 40 years. He's been tracking these trends for 40 years. He has developed all sorts of models, and he has all sorts of theories and patented models. I mean, he's just got it all. And so he did that for us in about an hour and 15 minutes, and then he stopped. And at the end of the time, he looked at the faculty in the room, and he said, but you know what? What really makes the difference is that you look a student in the eye and say, I know that you can do this. I know that you have it in you to go out into the world. That's what he sees at Stetson. That's what I see at Stetson. That's the beauty. So my charge to you in this Pay It Forward beautiful community is to say Happy Valentine's Day to you and take that wish to the next person you see, the next generation forward, and wish them a happy Hatter Hearts Day and say, I believe in you to carry this forward. Thank you. I think this event is actually healing me. I feel so much better than when we started. I think like literally you guys are making me feel good. Thank you. Just for a personal moment. One last time, if we could just all thank the benefactors who came today, some from near and some from far, but to be here in this moment, if we could just all give them a round of applause. So I'm going to end with a little parable that I've heard, and maybe some of you have heard it, but driving here today, I was thinking about it, and it really made me think about what happens at Stetson and what I think is special about Stetson. So there was a student who went home from a break from college and told her mother, like, I'm really struggling. It's really hard. And her mom laid out 3 pots of boiling water. And in one pot, she put carrots, and in the other pot, she put eggs, and in the last pot, she put coffee beans. And the daughter, knowing, as my children do, that a point was about to be made, waited patiently. And then the mother, after about 10 minutes of boiling, said, check out the carrots. What happened to them? And she said, well, they went from being hard to, when they were put in the boiling water, they went to being soft and squishy. If you leave them in there, they just turn into kind of squishy, not so tasty mess. And she said, well, what happened to the egg? She said, well, it's really fragile. And then we put it in the hot boiling water, and it became completely solid all the way through, just hard to the core. And she said, what happened to the coffee beans? And what the coffee beans did was, when they were put under pressure and under heat, they changed the water. And that's how I feel about a lot of our students. I feel like they changed the water. This is what I love about working at Stetson, is that the water is always changing, depending on the students and the faculty who are here. And I feel like as benefactors, you made the same choice. You decided when life gets tough, we've talked a lot today about a lot of great things, and a lot of it is very great. But a lot of it's also really hard. It's hard to want to go to college when you don't have any money. It's hard to get here and struggle in a class. It's hard to decide that maybe you want to change your major, or that's all very exciting, but it's also very challenging. You know, and those moments when you can feel yourself in boiling water, you feel it happening, and you have a choice. You can become hardened and negative. You know some people who have done that. You can become soft and squishy and just kind of fall apart, or you can change the water. And that's what you've done. And that's what you've done by deciding to invest your money. You've gone out into the world and you've changed the water. And like our provost has shared, the goal is that that's what we do, that we graduate from here, a new group every 4 years who's ready to change the water. And that's really hard work in whatever field they decide to go into, whether it's accounting or education or healthcare or environmental reform or whatever it is. And I love to come back and hear how they're all changing the water. So I feel really blessed to have been a part of this day. Thank you guys all so much for being here. Thank you to the president for believing in me in this next opportunity that I have to stay here and be a part of this community in such an impactful way. Go Hatters. Yeah.